Government winning the fight against cash in transit heists. SABC exclusives expose how bombs used in these heists are easily accessible to criminals.
The problem, you can just witness it light, you can't witness it blow because it will harm you.
And the guards who are at the coalface of danger speak out. Catch the full stories, all on SABC News from 1500 hours Central African Time.
Joined in studio by senior investigative reporter, that's Chriselda Lewis, who's been exploring the use of explosives in the spate of cash in transit robberies that some analysts in the country warn have reached endemic proportions. Good afternoon, Chriselda. Welcome. The use of commercial explosives in cash in transit heists coming into sharp focus, and it's the accessibility or the easy accessibility of such explosives that's a huge concern right now.
Quite shocking, Kirshni. When we started this investigation is when the cash in transit heists were at their peak in South Africa. Of course, you've heard from SABC that the proportions that these cash in transit heists have reached now is much greater or even higher than we've seen over the past couple of years. So the questions after every single day there being a cash in transit heist was to really try and find out where exactly these explosives are coming from. And our investigation, the exclusive which runs on SABC News at 1800 hours tonight, will show you how easy it was for us to buy explosives that are commonly used in these cash in transit heists from illegal miners. We were sold the explosives for just over 1,000 rand. And
how much of explosives, Chriselda? How much is needed to blow up a cash in transit vehicle, and how much would that cost?
Well, judging from what we were told by the illegal miner is that the amount of explosives that we bought were enough to detonate one of the cash in transit vans that we often see being blown up before the money is taken or is attempted to be taken. And it's quite shocking, given that what this illegal miner also tells us is that these are easily accessible and are working together with syndicates who are working at mines around South Africa. So anyone and everyone who has money is able to get their hands on these explosives.
So it's no coincidence that the Northwest, Limpopo, Mpumalanga and Gauteng provinces have become an epicenter of such infringements or such crimes because of their close proximity to mining areas.
That's right.
But how do robbers acquire the skills or expertise to actually use these explosives? It's one thing to get them and to buy them, but another thing to actually detonate them or have the know-how to do that.
This is quite a complex crime, and it's certainly something that we've picked up as we were underway with this investigation, is that you would get people who are hired as detonators, you'd get people who are hired as the gunmen, you'll get those who are hired as those who will drive the vehicles to intercept the cash van. So there's quite a number of people involved in this, and notwithstanding the fact that you do have some illegal miners, remember, some of these illegal miners would get some of these explosives in their possession and use them when they're trying to do their work at some of the mines around the country. So it's relatively simple for them to acquire that skill in terms of how to use these explosives. You'll also see on the footage that you're seeing on screen right now, that is the illegal miner who's literally showing us how the fuse itself is put into the explosive and how it will all detonate, when it will be detonated. And he goes to give great detail about how all of this happens in the event that someone wants to blow up a cash van.
Chriselda, you've been tracking this story for quite a while now. Should we have treated this, or cash in transit robberies, as a national crime emergency much sooner than we did?
I would certainly think so, because you'd recall previously the previous National Police Commissioner, Ria Piega, had put in some measures in place to try and ensure that there was a synergy working together with the mines to try and ensure that the issue of cash in transit heists in South Africa was dealt with. But a study, very interesting, that was done by one of the criminologists at the University of South Africa pointed out to a study that was done in conjunction with speaking to some of the convicted robbers in these cash in transit heists, where they indicated that the easy accessibility to these explosives is what was fueling or spiking the number of cash in transit heists in South Africa. So I think to get to the root cause of this, and also the fact that it's not just the mining industry that uses these explosives, it's also the construction industry. So there are quite a number of industries that need to be investigated in terms of who is supplying these explosives to these robbers. But what certainly is clear in this investigation is that one of the issues that was put out several months ago as to where they're coming from, our investigation certainly proves that the mining sector is certainly partially to be blamed for the easy accessibility of these explosives.
Chriselda Lewis, thank you for joining us on the desk this afternoon now for an unprecedented insight into cash in transit heists. Join us tonight for the SABC News Expose that will run from 6 p.m. tonight, where we show you how easy it is to buy powerful explosives commonly used in crimes of this nature.